Blood. Part 1, Circulatory System. Functions of blood. Transportation of oxygen and nutrients to body cells, as well as carries waste and carbon dioxide away. It transports chemical messages, hormones and enzymes, from one cell to another. It distributes heat. It also maintains acceptable body fluid levels, including water and the pH balance. pH of blood is approximately 7.4. Protects the body against invasions of foreign microorganisms. Components of blood. So there are approximately 5 liters of blood found in the body. This varies from person to person, but on average it's about 5 liters. The actual components of blood include 55% is fluid, less than 1% is white blood cells, and 45% is red blood cells. So one of the fluids found in blood cells is plasma. And the fluid portion of the blood, composed about 90% of water, contains blood proteins, also contains glucose, vitamins, minerals, dissolved gases, and wastes from body cells. To your right is a picture of frozen blood plasma. Proteins. Proteins are also found in your blood, specifically albumins, and they are also found in egg whites. And these establish osmotic pressure, which draws water back into the capillaries and thereby maintaining body fluid levels. Globulins produce antibodies to protect them against microorganisms, and fibrinogens help in blood clotting. To the right is a picture of proteins that you'd find in blood in and around the cell membrane. Erythrocytes, also known as red blood cells, and their job is to transport oxygen. They're produced by the bone marrow. They contain iron-containing respiratory pigment called hemoglobin, which helps the body absorb oxygen. And the chemical formula for hemoglobin is, and just wait, it's a big one, C3032 H 4816 O 876 N 780 S 8 and Fe4. 1 liter of blood without hemoglobin can carry 3 mL of oxygen, whereas with hemoglobin, 1 liter of blood can carry 200 milliliters of oxygen. This is why, if the heart stops for periods of time, a person may survive. Red blood cells. There are approximately 280 million hemoglobin molecules in one red blood cell. When oxygen is released to the body, the shape of the hemoglobin molecules changes, which causes it to reflect blue light. And that's why your veins are blue. Well, look blue. Red blood cells also do not contain a nucleus, which provides more room for the hemoglobin. So that means that these blood cells can carry more oxygen. Red blood cells also only live up to 120 days, and the body may produce as many as 5 million red blood cells per minute. So you are constantly replacing them, and they live up to 120 days. The average male has 5.5 billion red blood cells per milliliter of blood, and the average female has 4.5 billion red blood cells per milliliter of blood. If blood oxygen levels are lowered, the production of red blood cells increases. So this would be a homeostasis control. Anemia. This is a condition where there is a deficiency of hemoglobin or red blood cells causing a decrease in oxygen delivery to the tissue. Symptoms include low energy. It's caused by a hemorrhage, bleeding, or a dietary deficiency of iron. Raisins and liver are two good sources of iron. Remember that liver lab? Leukocytes, also known as white blood cells, WBC, are also found in our blood. There's approximately 1 white blood cell to 700 red blood cells. These are also produced in your bone marrow. Unlike our red blood cells, white blood cells contain a nucleus. Their job is to destroy invading microbes by engulfing them or producing antibodies. Pus is a fluid resulting from white blood cells engulfing and destroying foreign particles. So all those pimples that you have on your face, or I have on my face, it's actually destroyed microbes that have been engulfed by your white blood cells, and your body is getting rid of them. Platelets. These are cell fragments that are important in initiating blood clotting reactions. They do not contain a nucleus. However, they are also produced in bone marrow. So if we look to the right, we can see that platelets are right here. So if we're looking at normal blood from someone that's cancer-free, they still have quite a few platelets. But if you have leukemia, you have a lot lower platelets. So you're lacking platelets. So they do number of counts when they are doing, when you're going through for treatment, because they want to make sure to keep your platelets up. And that is it for our first part 1 of the blood. See you next time for part 2.